Hey guys, it's Britt. Tonight I am here to check in on the Without a Crystal Ball Reddit page. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So here's the thing. I was looking at a couple of these last night and I decided to stop what I was doing, go to bed, and come back today when I was ready to film this video because the first couple of things that I saw were hilarious. And I also wanted to mention they are at 5.2 thousand followers on this Reddit page. That is crazy considering the size of Katie Joy's channel on YouTube. That's just crazy to me. That's a lot of people who are that interested in her hypocrisies, the bullshit that she's posting on the internet, and they want to follow along. So I wanted to share that and also send a congrats to the people who started this subreddit because they have all the receipts. What we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of react. Now, I'm not going to go too far down because I think if I go too far down, it's going to just get outdated and it might not be relevant to what's going on right now. So we will go through a good section of this, and this might be a really long video. I don't know. Check and see how long it is. And I will remind anyone who is a stan of Katie, if you are a stan of Katie and you already feel annoyed or you've already left a dislike on this video, please see your way out. You know where the exit is. But for anyone else who is interested in me reacting to her once in a while, let's get started.
Guys, how are you? I can't believe this happened. Last night, my husband was looking over at my son and he noticed that my son was about to make a purchase. And I was like, what is he doing? And he's like, oh, he's just trying to make like an in-app purchase. And I'm like, okay. And my son had like put his little finger down on the touchpad because I'd set up the touchpad finger in his because I wanted to give him some ownership so that like if he got locked out, he would be able to get back in, not thinking that it had been set up for the fingerprint to be used as a way for him to use Apple Pay. Oh my God, you guys. The kid spent over $1,000 in-app purchases in 3 days. Seriously. I mean, probably $1,000. I went through and I had there was 87 transactions that he has made since December 6th, since he added these apps to his phone, to his iPad. And I was like, what did you do? Like, how did you spend this money? Like, what were you doing? Mommy, I was just playing. I just wanted more. I just wanted more stuff. Of course, the kid felt terrible. So he's extremely sensitive and he's not a bad kid. You know, it's like it's not his fault that this happened. It's like mom and dad's fault because we forgot to put like the, things on his phone to protect it. So, oh, you guys, this is such a massive fail. $1,000 is gone. I'm stunned. It was separate games. So there was multiple games that he was playing. Here, I'll show you. Multiple games that he was playing. Check this out. So like Super Bundle for a game about like blocks. There was a paint by numbers dinosaurs game. There was this Bubble Blaster game. Look, he was having some really good fun on Bubble Blaster, like a Santa Claus game.
Okay, first of all, let's unpack this. I'm not going to talk a ton about her parenting because let's be real, none of us live with her, none of us reside in her residence and know what really goes on behind closed doors. So I don't want to say things that come off as harsh or that are just completely incorrect because that's not my style. But what I will say is I will comment on this since she made it public. Here's the thing that doesn't make sense about this for me is that typically when you buy things through iTunes, there's a way to be notified. And for $1,000 to be able to be spent, I feel like that would have been, even if you're not notified somehow, I feel like if it gets up to $1,000 in 3 days, Apple would send you some sort of email or something. Like, there's usually a receipt from Apple that's sent to you, and even if it's not immediate, I do feel like it would be within 24 hours. So I'm having some problems with this. She shows the screen recording, whatever, you know, screen grabs can be easily produced, if you guys know. So I don't necessarily put all of my faith in her screenshots because, again, when you're a pathological liar and you've been caught in so many lies, it's hard for people to take a screenshot that you show at face value. But the thing that bothers me about this the most is that $1,000, she's like laughing it off. Do you realize that if someone took $1,000 from me right now, there would be a lot of shit in jeopardy in my house? I'd be eating ramen noodles for the next 2 weeks and my electric bill would probably not be paid. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. Like, and I realize that she makes money by talking about stuff that half the time she shouldn't be talking about, and that's her way of living. But I just don't even see any relevance in this video being shared. She says that she doesn't want people to talk about her parenting, but then she shows clips like this, which leave people to speculate on her parenting style. So if I was her, I would leave everything to do with my kid off the internet. Everything. Every little detail would be left offline. Because you can't say, don't talk about my parenting, but then show stuff like this where it leads people to question, how is your kid in a position where he can rack up $1,000 over multiple days by buying apps for, or, you know, in-app purchases on his iPad? Does he have that much screen time that is unsupervised? So I just have a lot of questions, and I don't really see the value in her sharing this. I won't really say anything else about her parenting, but I will comment on this since she did make it public. I just have a lot of questions, and I would encourage her to not share anything about parenting or about her child if she doesn't want it to be up for discussion. That $1,000 should be going towards her attorney's fees anyway, so I'm sure she's real upset. Okay, the next post is Misery Loves Company. Let's see what she has to say.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so my life is a mess. I am in need of a haircut. I'm in need of a hair job, dye. Got all my gray hairs coming in. A world where we're all alone and stuck at home. There's been this perpetualness of constant and utter chaos and hopelessness and sadness.
So far, what I'm gathering from this at 35 seconds in is that she's pointing out the obvious. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. Some things are sad, some things are miserable. So far, you're pointing out the obvious. I don't know if this is leading up to a deflection tactic, but we'll see.
Disconnected and disassociated from everything. Complete and utter negativity. Constantly looking for everything that's wrong with everyone else, or we are finding enjoyment in making other people feel bad.
And constantly looking for everything that's wrong with everyone else. But she's the one who continues to make videos discussing issues within these families, like the Duggars and the sister wives and the teen moms. So you can't point the finger and say, oh, they're looking for something wrong, when you're over here talking about people's relationships and all kinds of dumbass tea that doesn't really have any place on the internet. It really holds no value, in my personal opinion. You know, if Katie would flip the script, take a month off the internet, recenter, regroup, all the time that she spends in front of her computer every day, she could be really making more of a positive impact on YouTube if she would change up her content, change up her attitude, and, you know, could you see her talking about like family vloggers? If she would leave all the reality TV shit in the past, no one cares about reality TV stuff. Like, I know that there's a small percentage of people that do, but imagine if you were putting that time and energy into helping get these family vloggers that are exploiting their kids for money off YouTube. I mean, then again, she would have to make sure that she was leaving all of her parenting stuff aside, but I just feel like her time could be so well spent if she would just have an honest moment of reflection with herself and look at it for what it's worth. Who do I want to be on YouTube? This is a time for change. This is an opportunity for me to regroup, rebrand, and come back and actually use all these hours that I sit online between YouTube, live streams, Instagram, Twitter. Stop with the Twitter battles and the Instagram lives just to like go back and forth with your followers. She could be using her time in a completely different way. And if she doesn't lose her channel over the lawsuit, that might be a decent comeback for her. But she's in denial, and I doubt that would ever happen.
So this isn't necessarily a video for me. This is just something for you are feeling like hopeless and disconnected. And I feel like that whole like sense of downness and that whole sense of...
Why is she telling anyone else what to do? Have you seen your online presence, lady?
Sadness. Forgetting how to be nice. Like, I've gone through some really, really hard seasons. Really hard seasons, especially as a mom, that have not been easy. And
forgetting how to be nice. Did y'all hear that? Please tell me you heard that. Forgetting how to be nice. This is coming from the person who consistently lashes out at her subscribers. This is coming from the person who consistently goes on Twitter rampages late at night and will say the most ridiculous things and then delete it. I don't know where this is going, but I don't like it.
None of this in the long run is going to be forever. As much as it's easy to get sucked into negativity, like you want to be hating someone, sometimes I feel like it's because we're hating something about our lives. And I've always, with this content and with this channel, wanted to come from a space of when sharing.
So is she trying to say that because she hated on Tati for so long and had such a hate for Tati, that it was because she was actually unhappy? Because that's what I'm gathering. I don't know if I'm alone on that, but if you're that hated because you're unhappy at home, then maybe you should address the things going on at home instead of spending your time on the internet picking on the same person, looking for their birth certificate and their family members and making 40 videos spreading your opinions as facts and then ignoring 4 C&Ds.
Stories and doing things that we do it lighthearted, that we don't take things too seriously, and you try to be, mindful.
Nothing about the stories that I've seen on Katie's channel. There might have been a few sprinkled in during the time that I was watching her, but her videos never struck me as lighthearted or not that serious. Like, there have been some serious things discussed on her channel, and again, it's consistently sitting up on your soapbox and spouting out these opinions as facts. But the problem is that when you do that and you get the information wrong and people get tired of you picking on them and spreading lies about them, Then they send you 4 C&Ds, you ignore them because you're so narcissistic, in my personal opinion, and then you get caught up in a lawsuit. This is dumb.
I used to hate when my mom would say this too shall pass, because it always felt like this empty thing that someone says to you when they don't have anything else to say to you. And every time I go online right now and I read an article, like I was literally thinking about mom shaming, for instance. Why women seem to, we as women, instead of sometimes wanting to support moms and to support each other, we shame one another. We say, well, you're not doing what I would do, or you're doing it wrong, or you're not as good as me. And I literally typed in mom shame on Google today, and I'm not even kidding. And it's gotten worse since this pandemic started. So has online hate, so has online sort of mobs. And we're how many months into this, and we're still dealing with it, right? We're still here stuck. We're still here feeling like, when is this going to end? The more we're stuck at home, the more isolated we've become.
No. The quarantine has nothing to do with people calling out Katie on her bullshit. In my personal opinion, she really ramped up her following with the Micah Stauffer stuff, and there were more eyes on her, and there were more people that were there to see through her nonsense, and there were more creators who were willing to speak out against her. Being in quarantine has nothing to do with it. Do I think that people were consuming more YouTube? Absolutely. But when she started talking about Micah, it drove a lot of new people to her channel, rightfully so. She was talking about something that people were really interested in. But with that larger audience also came fellow YouTubers and people who are on Reddit calling her shit out. So I don't see how the quarantine has anything to do with the position that she's in. Do I think that some people go really hard on Katie? Absolutely. And I don't think that all of it makes sense, and I don't think all of it is delivered in a positive way. Are there times where I come on video and I might make a couple of jokes, or like when I react to her makeup routines, like not all of that is in a super serious, constructive manner, but it's reactionary and it's commentary. There are people who pick apart the way that she looks or the way that her hair looks. For me personally, I have said before, this is my personal opinion and my decision. I do not think that that adds anything to the conversation. There are so many things to discuss with Katie because in any given day, her internet footprint is so large and so deep that there's always something to talk about. She's always contradicting herself or getting herself into some sort of messy situation or reacting in a way that is a topic of discussion for commentary channels. So I don't think that people need to be picking on her hair or talking about the way that she looks physically. I just don't personally agree with that, and that's not the way that I run my channel. So that being said though, I just don't think that quarantine has anything to do with people talking about Katie or discussing her, whether it's in the way that I talk about her or other YouTubers who choose to take a different avenue than I do.
The angrier we've become. So lately when I've been feeling angry or frustrated, I'm trying to dissect and go underneath that feeling and say, okay, I'm feeling anger, and anger is this response that we have it's a symptom. Correct. Anger is a symptom. What's causing?
If she's feeling angry, just my personal opinion, she should be angry at herself. There's, you know, could she have some feelings of anger towards people who deliver their message in a really negative manner? Sure. Could she feel some feelings of anger towards people who are literally lying about her? Absolutely, because at the end of the day, I don't think anyone should be lied on. And I don't think that anyone should be doxxed. Those are my two kind of internet rules, that if someone is doxing or telling legitimate lies that can be proven with facts, not fuckery, then you're out of here. Like, I'm no longer going to support you. I might talk about you because I have a commentary channel, but I'm not going to support you. Again, I think that she had so many different opportunities to turn it all around and rebrand herself, and she chose to ignore the 4 warnings, and now she's in this lawsuit. So if she's feeling angry, the majority of that anger should be just reflected right back at herself for creating this shit show that she's in.
The anger. What's causing the frustration? Is it sadness? Is it I lost my job? Is it I miss my family? Is it I want my life back? Is it I'm feeling stuck or hopeless? I'm feeling hurt?
She's speaking to her audience like they're a bunch of 7-year-olds, like,
right? And so some people can come on here and say this is about me. This is not about me at all. It's not just me that this has happened to. You can look online and see how so many people that are in the public are dealing with this right now. And instead of getting mad about it, and instead of feeling sorry for myself, I thought, I just want you guys to know that if you're feeling angry and if you're feeling frustrated and you feel like you need to be mad at someone, get connected to people, right? They always say self-care is important. So things I've been doing, like breathe through that.
This is dumb. She's not making any points, and she's trying to direct people on how to feel. What she needs to do is realize that quarantine had nothing to do with what happened to her. People were going to call her out either way. It might have been a smaller group of people. If you want to say people are at home and watching YouTube more, sure, but that only accounts for a small margin of the people who are discussing her and calling her out. This is the internet. People talk about each other, and especially if you're in a situation like her, people are definitely going to talk about it, because welcome to the commentary community. People talk about fellow YouTubers and public figures and share their opinions. And I will repeat this one more time. I do not believe in picking her apart for the way that she looks physically, or, like her hair stuff, like that could fall into that same category. So I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do agree with people having a voice and being able to share an opinion about the way that she delivered something, or proving her wrong with facts, not fuckery. I agree with all of that. So I don't know who that pep talk was for, but sometimes I think that when she's talking, instead of talking to her phone and live streaming it, maybe she should just be talking into the mirror and figuring out how she is going to regroup when all of this shit hits the fan. Because one of two things is going to happen, in my personal opinion. One, she's going to lose her channel, or two, somehow she's not going to lose her channel, but she's going to have to completely change everything about what she's done on YouTube. The way that she's delivering stories, the content that she's covering, her personality when it comes to her relationship with her subscribers, and also her manners on other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram. All of those are going to have to just be completely changed 100%. Okay, So this is a comment. Someone said, Katie, you need some annual leave. I'm not a hater. Just take some leave until after Christmas. And that's exactly what I said. She needs to take a month off and figure it out. So instead of saying, that's a great suggestion, why don't I, respond and say, thanks, that's a great idea. Instead, she said, sorry, I can't. Do you know how expensive lawsuits are? And the person replied and said, yes, we do. That's why we don't walk around continually running our mouths past 4 cease and desists from a millionaire. Whew. You guys, nothing but the facts. And I think that's the thing that's going to continue to come up for her, is the fact that she had 4 warnings. Typically, people get 1 warning and call it a day. They say, that's enough for me. I don't want any trouble with these rich YouTubers who are sending me these C&Ds. And especially if it's under, if it's warranted, is what I'm trying to say. Most people will just stop talking about the person. Instead, you want to show your arrogance and your pride and ignore. This is the thing that really is crazy to me. You ignored not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. You had 4 warnings to just wash your hands of this, take down the videos, continue doing what you were doing, but instead now you're in a position where you have to completely scrub your channel, if you even get to keep it, and you're gonna have to change what you're doing. People are done. Okay, let's listen to this. KJ addresses copyright striking channels. She says, people can talk about me, that's totally fine. Immediately rolls her eyes, says, I have no current copyright strikes that I know of. The only ones I have right now are, okay, let's see. I need some more context.
Yes. Will that happen in the future? No. I don't want to ever be a creator that would ever abuse any sort of reporting system. And so I'm just going to continue to allow creators to say what they want to say and have their opinions. At the end of the day,
I just saw a comment that said, are people still struck on the copyright strikes? Here's the reason why it's such a big deal. I don't remember the person's name, doesn't matter. The reason that copyright strikes are such a big deal is that if they're done and it's warranted, that's fine. But if it's not warranted, which there have been many YouTubers to misuse the copyright strike system, you can get your entire channel taken down. Can you imagine someone making tons of videos, pouring all of their time, love, and energy into their YouTube channel, and they decide to speak on a fellow YouTuber? It's done with class and integrity, and it's not mudslinging or being nasty or mean. And just because the YouTuber doesn't like it, they strike your channel. Well, if that happens 3 times, your entire channel is gone. That could be years of content. That could be years of time, energy, and love that you have poured into your content. And whether or not people agree with commentary videos or the commentary community, the drama community, the tea community, whatever it is that you want to call this whole space on YouTube, if someone is delivering their message with integrity and being respectful, but also sharing an unbiased opinion, then they have every right to do that. And I cannot stand to see YouTubers trying to silence others by misusing the copyright strike system. Josh, a Dad Challenge podcast, is going through this right now with Bits of Brie. She struck his channel. I think Kendall Rich did also, correct me if I'm wrong, but he does have the strike, I know for a fact, from Bits of Brie. He reacted to her birth vlog. He used the content in a fair use manner. It was spliced, and he was inserting his comments and thoughts throughout, and she struck his channel. That is completely unfair. There was nothing in that video, because I saw the original video. There was nothing in that video that was done in bad taste. He was sharing his opinion. You know, I understand, I guess some people will look at it and be like, oh, well, you shouldn't be reacting to a birth vlog. But if it's put up on YouTube, then I think that anyone has a right to react to it. And as long as you're not sitting there being, you know, gross or nasty about your comments, it shouldn't be taken down. So that's also why Bits of Brie is on my family vlogger list of people that I will continue to cover, because not only is she a family vlogger, which I can't stand, but she's also misused the copyright strike system, and it could have been against anyone. It has nothing to do with the fact that it was against Josh. It could have been against anyone, and I would feel the exact same way as long as that YouTuber was delivering their message with integrity and respect.
I can only control my reaction. So if you are reporting on me, that's totally fine.
Nobody needs Katie to report on her. She has a YouTube channel, she posts YouTube videos, and everyone has a right to make commentary about it. Like I said, as long as it's done with integrity and respect, we don't need your permission.
I wish I could speak about so many things. I just can't. I wish I could like scream from the rooftops, but I can't. And I hope you guys...
She loves to go back to this thing about how I want to say so many things, but I can't. It's a secret. I can't talk. Anytime that she says that, and then when things actually come out, everyone is vastly underwhelmed and left scratching their heads. So if this was the first time that she was ever saying this, then I might say maybe we'll all be wrong when the information actually comes out. But the fact that she has said it so many times that everyone is left confused is, it's getting old. Nobody believes you. It goes back to the story of like the boy who cried wolf. I've talked about that in other videos. Growing up, my dad would always tell me that, because you know, you can only cry wolf so many times, and then when the wolf is actually there, nobody is going to be there to save you because you've lied so many times. And that's exactly what we go through with YouTubers like Katie, is that we're at the point where we don't believe anything that you say.
Understand that. So, but I do want to be clear that I have zero intentions of striking any channels. I have zero intentions of reporting. I even put a tweet out at the request of someone in my last live to say, I don't support anyone going after. I don't have any active copyright strikes that I know of. The only ones that I have right now were related to people that uploaded my content without any commentary. So YouTube, the only active ones that I went into my channel and saw those, and the only active copyright strikes that I saw were related to ones where people just took my uploads and re-uploaded them without my permission, didn't provide any transformative content. There were no copyright strikes in there for people for like small clips or anything like that, that I could see at all. Nothing. There was recently, yesterday, they suggested that like it's fair. I mean, the copyright system is for sure there so that like...
She says that she doesn't know if she has any active strikes. She can figure out if she has any active strikes. And you can also remove those. It's also in your court to say, I no longer want to pursue this, and you can get it resolved. But the other thing I want to say is when it comes to accidentally striking channels, that is the biggest load of garbage that I've ever heard. There are multiple steps to go through a copyright strike and have it submitted to YouTube. I don't I can't come up with any circumstance where an accidental copyright strike would be filed. So you can no longer stand on that leg, Katie, because nobody believes it. There's no fucking way that you can accidentally strike someone. And if you do have strikes against people, it's also in your court where you can say, pump the brakes, I no longer want to go through with this, and you can have it taken away. It's just so ridiculous. So let's talk about, this is what I talked about in the car chats that I posted today. Today is Wednesday, so whenever this video is uploaded, it was the video that I posted Wednesday. I talked about this for about 2 minutes in that video. She puts out this tweet on December 6th, and which was a few days ago. She said, one creator that I lashed out at did not deserve it. Emily Baker, I apologize for my comments weeks ago. They weren't appropriate, unprofessional. That doesn't really make sense. She should have said they weren't appropriate. They were unprofessional and uncalled for, but either way, grammar police. I wish you the best on your channel. Also, everything with the case will make sense in the future. I don't think she needs to be telling Emily that everything with the case will make sense in the future, because Emily is sitting over there as a unbiased legal commentary channel. She's going to read both sides of this case. No one cares if, but again, this goes back to everything making sense in the future. Bombs are going to be dropped. The truths are going to be revealed. But every single time she says that, everyone is left confused and feel like they've been lied to. But I said in my, sorry, I have an axle here. It's like what I said in my video earlier today. She's apologizing to the wrong attorney. If she was going to apologize to an attorney specifically, it should be Michael Saltsy. That's who should have gotten the apology, because she has absolutely lashed out at him on Twitter and disrespected him multiple times, in my opinion. And then if you want to line up other people that are owed apologies, it should be people who she has doxed, like Creepshow Art, and then her subscribers, Creepshow Art, fellow creators who she has disrespected and insulted on YouTube. And it should also be her subscribers and everyone else on the internet who she has lashed out at and been really mean-spirited to on all these different occasions. So this video, I'm not going to insert this because it's a hot mess. Of course, I will link the subreddit down below if you guys are interested in watching any of these for yourself, or if you want to go over and read the comments. But she was drunk. She was on a live stream and it was a disaster. Aside from basically changing everything about what she's done online, one big thing that if I was going to make a personal recommendation, let's just say that Katie was my friend, okay? I mean, would never happen because her personality and mine could not be more opposite. But let's just say, let's pretend she's my friend. If I was going to give her one piece of advice aside from her content on YouTube and the way she covers things, I would highly encourage her to, if she is going to make the decision to drink, because let's be real, we're all adults and we can make our own decisions. If she is going to make the decision to drink, she needs to put her phone away and, give it to maybe her husband, or put it somewhere where she knows she won't touch it. Stay off of live streams when she's drinking, because you guys, like, in between the live streams that are a disaster and the Twitter rants at 12:30 in the morning, there has been so many things said and then deleted, or things said that were just off the wall and not good, that I think could have been avoided if alcohol was not in the picture. So that's all that I'll say on that, but it's a mess. Okay, so let's watch this little clip. It says KJ gives advice about being canceled and how much you should love and appreciate your diehard subscribers. Immediately after, reacts so badly to love from her subscribers. Let's see.
Everyone is being canceling her all the time. I think it's healthy. I will say the saving grace for me and all of my chaos the last month has been that my core audience doesn't care about all of that noise. My core audience is
your core audience, as in your stans, the stans that go to other commentary channels and leave the most disgusting filled comments in their comment section saying that, you know, we're obsessed or, you know, and that's the thing. And I just want to say, here is a comparison of how I deliver things versus how her, you know, minions run around and say things. I've made it very clear that I don't want to talk about the way that she looks physically because I just think that it's off the table. I don't think it adds anything of value to the conversation. But it's funny because anytime one of her diehard stans comes over here, I would say the majority of the time they are attacking my voice or the fact that I'm slim. I will leave it at that because I don't want to put words in here that will get me, you know, flagged. But they will allege that I have an ED or, you know, just tell me that I have vocal fry or my voice is annoying. So it's just like, these are the people that are supporting you. These are the people who cannot have an adult conversation or see things for what they really are. So maybe that's why they're your stans.
In their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, and they're just here for content. They don't care about that noise. They've been watching me long enough to know who I am.
They don't care about that noise, but they'll go around to other commentary channels and spread hate. But they're 40 and 50 and 60 years old. Sounds like a great group of people.
And that's been, you know, I feel like when you're going through a really tough time, the one thing, my advice to anyone that gets put in this position is to just, first off, slow down. I wish I would have slowed down. And second off, you know, really like lean into those subscribers that do love you and that do want you and that do value you.
Slow down. She did not slow down one bit. She did not miss a beat. Something like this would have required at least a month off the internet, bare minimum. But she can't stop making content because it's my understanding that she is the sole breadwinner in the house. So obviously things still need to be done, you know, bills need to be paid. But if she makes as much as she's bragged about in the past, she should have been able to take a month off and really self-reflect and try to figure out what the fuck she was going to do to save this ship before it sank.
Because they're the ones that are going to send you those messages. They're the ones that are going to make you feel like it doesn't matter. Everything will turn around. They're the ones that are going to check in with you. And that's what matters. You're there for your audience and nobody else.
Yeah, but hearing your echo chamber and hearing, oh, it doesn't matter, everything will be fine, you didn't do anything wrong, that's not teaching a lesson. And I don't know about you guys, but I want my subscribers to keep me in check when I need to be kept in check. If I really fuck up one time, I want my devout subscribers to come to me and say, look, this is what we think you should do. And here's some ideas, and this is how we're feeling. I don't want a fucking echo chamber on my channel. I want people to give me their, you know, the way that they're really feeling. I'm building this channel based around what my subscribers want to see. I'm also making content that I want to make and that I think I would want to watch. So I'm walking a fine line between making sure subscribers get what they want, but also putting out stuff that's fun and that I like making and that I like watching. But I don't want my core subscribers to be my echo chamber, because if shit were to ever hit the fan, which knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't, because of the way that I carry myself, and I have a pretty good grasp on the way that I want to carry myself on YouTube indefinitely. But if something were to ever happen, I would want them to come to me and be like, look, we love your channel, but this is how we're feeling. I don't want them to say, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. The people that are telling Katie that she didn't do anything wrong are wrong. She did do things wrong. She harassed Tati. She has spread misinformation. She has stated her opinions as facts. She has acted so full of herself to ignore 4 C&Ds. And then once the lawsuit dropped, she continued to dig her hole deeper. She has doxed people. She has been nasty to fellow YouTube creators. She's been mean to her subscribers on multiple occasions. She did do something wrong. That's the problem. People don't get to the seat where she's sitting right now by carrying themselves with dignity and respect on this platform.
All that other stuff is just noise. And when I got to a place and I realized that, my life became a whole lot easier. Okay, the last topic we're going to talk about is Gabby DiMartino. Now, this one is kind of a mess, and I wanted to save it for the end. Only love for Without a Crystal Ball. Well, I appreciate it. Only love for Without a Crystal Ball. Well, I appreciate it. Okay. So last up, we're going to talk about. Okay, since you can't answer, I have never had to stop. I would love to have coffee with all of you guys. I haven't had to stop talking about literally any celebrities ever, period. Not one. Even with cease and desist letters, Tati Westbrook leads the pack with 3 cease and desist letters to Katie Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball. To that I say, thanks Tati, I'm still running my channel and writing content. Bye guys.
Ew, she is so self-righteous. Like, that clip aged like fine wine. For her to sit there and state the fact that she got 3 warnings, continued to ignore them, and it's this I would say is kind of a snarky, bitchy attitude. This is a great example of that. To sit there and say, I'm still running my channel, bye guys, like that kind of shit is obnoxious, and it really just goes to show what a dumbass she is. Like, nobody ignores the warnings. Why would you want to fuck with a multi-millionaire YouTuber? That would be like if Manny MUA sent me a C&D. Like, I've talked about Manny only a couple times, but imagine, could you guys imagine if I dug up all of this personal info on him, his family, spread a bunch of lies and misinformation, stating opinions as facts, and then he started sending me C&Ds. Could you imagine this? And I ignored not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Even at the point of 3, I would expect, and this goes back to my subscribers not being an echo chamber, I would expect my subscribers to be like, Britt, like, what the hell are you doing? Covering Manny is not that big of a deal. We don't care that much about, finding his birth certificate. Like, that's just bizarre. It's bizarre behavior, and it's bizarre that people did not reel her in after the first or the second one. I don't know. I've learned quite a bit about the kind of people that subscribe to her and the people that are in her echo chamber. And these are people that I would never, ever, ever want in my real life. Okay, so this is the post that I'm going to finish this video on, because I have mentioned in a couple other videos that I have a strong dislike for John Cookian. I think that he is like the scum of YouTube. He And I'm not just saying that because I am a fan of Peter Mon. I am saying that because John Cookian is a monster, in my personal opinion. So, knowing that, if you guys know anything about John Cookian, you will know why I cannot stand his existence. So Katie tweeted this out. I have no idea when this was. It's probably an old post, but she said, I watched a lot of John Cookian videos today. I kind of stan his brain when he talks about science compounds and does research. His lipsticks look nice too. John Cookian, in my opinion, is a basket case. Like, there's no value to his content. And saying that and also looking at Katie, I see how the two align, and maybe they're made for each other. And then, you know, you can see all of these videos that John Cookian has done about Tati, and it's just, it's a whole mess, you guys. Like, he kind of has a hate for Tati like Katie does. So who knows? They might have talked in the DMs. I don't know, allegedly. But I could see that happening and them just like spewing all of this hate at Tati. Like, ugh, it's gross. So anyway, you guys, I wanted to share that. Yeah, the Reddit is great. I plan on doing more Reddit videos. I did do I reacted to the anti-MLM Reddit, so if you're interested in that, go to my anti-MLM playlist. The Without a Crystal Ball Reddit is by far just like the central place for information. If you are interested in all of these shenanigans, everything that's going on, or if you're a subscriber and you are finding yourself on the fence right now and you just don't know what to do, I would suggest going to the Reddit and doing some homework. You know, sit down with a cup of coffee or whatever and take a look at the receipts that they have gathered, because like I said in the beginning of the video, for someone of Katie's size to have a Reddit of this size speaks volumes to me. And just the sheer amount of data that they have, the screenshots, the video clips. And this is not a subreddit where it's taking 2-second clips, merging them together, and making her look like she said things that she didn't say. This is all stuff that she posted on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at one time or another. A lot of the stuff that they have has been deleted from her channel because, like we already know, she loves to post and delete stuff consistently. So I'll link it down below if you're interested. I know a lot of people are very confused by Reddit, but if you just go over there and try to navigate it, I think that you'll start to understand kind of how it works. I was sort of confused by Reddit as well, but I have a general understanding of how to sort through things and find what I'm looking for. I'm definitely not an expert, but I can go over there and browse things that I'm interested in. So if you guys like the video, please leave me a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.